Hey everybody, Chef Britt here with atbbq.com, and today we are making funnel cake, but not just any funnel cake, gluten-free funnel cake. So we had a persistent viewer constantly request a funnel cake recipe. So I was kind of on the fence about it because I wasn't sure how well it aligned with the barbecue world. However, we have a new product that I'm really excited to show you, and it is this gluten-free flour blend from Antimo Caputo. Really interesting fact about this, the first ingredient is actually gluten-free wheat starch. So it is derived from wheat, but it is void of the gluten protein that people are so sensitive to. And there's some other things that you'll find in other typical blends, but I think the fact that the starch is coming from wheat, and there's a couple other things like buckwheat flour, it really lends a great flavor. So this is something where you can use it in place of regular flour, or if you want to try a different flour, gluten-free flour blend that will give you a better flavor. So if you're looking to move away from regular flour, or if you are looking for a better tasting gluten-free flour blend, I highly suggest this one. All right, so like I said, it's as easy as putting together a pancake batter, so that's exactly what we're doing. We've got 1 3/4 cup of the gluten-free flour blend. I've got a tablespoon of sugar. I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And that's it for our dry ingredients. So we're gonna sift those all together. Just whisk, 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 whisk. And I'm gonna make a little well for our wet ingredients to land. So I've got a cup of milk and 2 eggs. Now I'm gonna whisk these together. The beauty of gluten-free flour is that you can't really over-mix it. But we are going to have to let this sit and really hydrate. It's going to be fairly runny at first, and then after sitting, all of the starches in that gluten-free flour mix are going to absorb the moisture and set up so much more. But we can sit here and get really vigorous with our whisking so that we don't have any lumps remaining. So notice this texture. It's very fluid. It has a constant stream. It's not glooping, glopping. We need to allow this to set up for 15 minutes at least. And we're gonna see a real change in the texture. Now, what I'm probably going to do is add more milk so I can get it to the appropriate texture. So this initial cup of milk is just going to give us that initial hydration that we need, and we'll adjust the texture right before we go frying. So speaking of frying, today we're going to be using a side burner on the Napoleon P500. But we are also going to be doing all of our deep frying in the Lodge enamel coated cast iron Dutch oven. I'm really excited. I have this exact same one at home. It's so beautiful, and it's like the perfect thing to do all of this deep frying. So 15 minutes is the perfect amount of time to get the Napoleon P500 RSIB set up. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, SIB stands for side infrared burner. So we're gonna get it up onto a higher position and get it fired up. All right, so today I'm gonna be using peanut oil. It's one of the best oils for deep frying, and we're going to get it to a temperature between 350 and 375 degrees. Okay, so we can see it's really stiffened up here, so we need to adjust the texture. I like to hold back in that initial process just so that I can have more control in the end. So we're gonna add probably up to another 1/2 cup of moisture back in here. But that's a great thing, is that we don't have to worry about over developing any gluten, because they ain't no gluten. So it's not gonna be as steady of a stream going down, but this is very close to what I am looking for. It really just depends too. You know, I didn't weigh out any ingredients today. I wanted to make this sort of approachable, so you didn't have to use a scale. So if you measure out 1 3/4 cups in that initial bit, but it's packed in really tightly, or you just so happen to have like a larger sized cup than other people, this can happen where you just kind of continually add more. That's perfect. I think this is where we're gonna need to be. What I really want is something that looks like a cake batter in the end. And just the way that that starch acts, it's going to want to sort of clump together, and that's fine. So now that I have that at the consistency that I like, I'm going to go ahead and fill up a piping bag. You know, I know this is called funnel cake, and people typically do use those funnels. I just don't have one handy, and this is actually get just more control out of a piping bag. So I'm gonna set it up inside this little quart container so that I can easily pour my batter in there. All right, so I'm gonna just pour it all in there. Perfect. So now we need to clip the top, and just like the milk, we're going to start with a smaller hole and adjust it if we need. So this hole is probably only gonna be, what? Would you say an 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch round? Not very much, because it will expand as it hits the fryer oil. So I'm just temping my oil right now. We're just under 340 degrees. I'm giving it a little stir just to make sure we're even. But I think we're pretty close there. Okay, so for the deep frying aspect, you're definitely gonna wanna have a spider on hand, or any sort of like slotted spoon could also help. You're gonna want a sheet pan lined with some paper towels, and then any sort of accoutrement that you want to go with your funnel cake. 4th of July is right around the corner for us, so we're gonna get festive and do what I call blog mom stuff, and make some cute red stars out of a watermelon, and got some blueberries for the blue aspect. So let's get that prepped. So I think it helps to have sort of flat cut surfaces to work with. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do whatever thickness I feel is appropriate for my stars. You guys can do whatever you want. This is just what I'm doing. Adorable. Oh, but Britt, what are you gonna do with all the leftovers? Eat them. Eat them. All right, so if you wanna have control over what's coming out of your piping bag, you can pinch the top as such. When you feed it in, you can go straight in, you can kind of go wiggly with it. It's literally gonna do whatever it wants to do at this point. I love the way that this is puffing up too. You can just tell it's going to be very fluffy and just a really great texture. I almost feel like I get a better texture out of this gluten-free flour than with regular flour. And we'll see too, the bubbling will really start to slow down once you know it's fully cooked through. I love the color that I've got going on here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull it. All right, so let's get this plated up. We'll do something like that. And I bet you guys thought I forgot about the powdered sugar. Nope. That's like the most integral part of the funnel cake. And then we'll sprinkle in a couple blueberries here and there, make it feel really festive. Let's dig in. I'm gonna get this piece right here. Ooh, that's a crispy one. Okay. I mean, what's not to love about fried dough? This is seriously one of the better funnel cake batters I've ever had. I don't make funnel cake all the time because it's kind of, I don't know, it's fair food, it's excess, it's something special. If you want to make something special for yourself, this is the way to do it. All right, well, thanks for joining me today. I'm gonna be busy firing off the rest of that batter for everybody here at All Things Barbecue. If you guys need to check out any of the tools or flavors that we used today, head on over to atbbq.com and check it out. And if you wanna see the full recipe, click the link down below at atbbq.com/thesauce. All Things Barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.